public what I made. With my blessings I come in, they can't understand. You want school, the more they go with their pretense. I get enjoy, give bro, man. I try, but it fail, and I ever me, oh. That your cheche pule, you know, leave my key, oh. Be my friend and my student, they'll let more. Anything you do, we get more. Put it, then I want you. Then I try to bring me down, but then I want you. Put it, then I want you. They don't get me all right, I want you. Put it, then I want you. Then I try to bring me down, but then I want you. I want you. They don't get me all right, I want you.
They don't try, in a flexible part. They can make it and the running query spiritual. See? Tell look at them when I take it. They want steam and blessing, boy, I get and take it late. That man with fair weekend, that make it all day. People have a secret. The machine someone can't sell it, sell it pocket. When I say, then God say. Some pocket never fail, I will never fail. Charisma boy in Tashkent. My friend done. Musician get your friend in all the time. Manager pay my gonna play it at the time.
Put it, then I want you. Then I try to bring me down, but then I want you. Put it, then I want you. They don't get me all right, I want you. Put it, then I want you. Then I try to bring me down, but then I want you. Put it, then I want you. They don't get me all right, I want you.
Super Sounds.
Clappy ENT, baby. Give me that. To my baby. Boy, give me that.
We get soccer, we get dresser, we get Scooby-Doo. We get Casabonne like Jackie Foam. We get Palopo, we get Slick when we get BBQ. If you say you grown up, I say I grown up too. For anything like open while I flag and die inside. So Jebby there, you Jebby talking plenty. If you feel you're not enough, then you want photocopy. Boy, you and your grown up man, it can make me scary. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you more than me, then lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you too much chronic, lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you more than me, then lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you too much chronic, lying for ya. When grona messy, grona make it hard. Look at Johnny picking, one can issue on my fly. You tell us some of back into my myself. Let them know they real cause I on the block. Because you came to go, you will see them all around you just to eat your suso. You see tell like Camo play, you tell like Lulu. Even if your phone not on, they blowing fire for you. That one I'm making you so lazy. I love live my life, and get no Oma and Papi. For anything like open while I flag and die inside. So Jebby there, you Jebby talking plenty. If you feel you're not enough, then you want photocopy. Boy, you and your grown up man, it can make me scary. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you more than me, then lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you too much chronic, lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you more than me, then lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you too much chronic, lying for ya. See your body since I see you.
Boy, give me that.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Steve?
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. How you doing? It's a chill
Good afternoon.
Mr.
I'm allowed.
Kamara.
Do you hear me?
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, you're very audible.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay. First, I want to welcome you to the Bottom Line Liberia. My name is Jamal Kamara. Tonight, we'll be having a special guest with us tonight we'll be introducing later on, and he's a familiar face to this program and to this platform. And also tonight, with our colleagues will be joining us. I know I have with me Mr. Paul De Lord Chiliplate, that's the friend of King Charles. I know my colleague Langford will be joining very soon, as well as Mr. Morris Yankuba Dole. But in that case, I want to say welcome to the Borderline. This is the Tuesday edition, November 4th, 2025. I want to say, Paul, welcome. Paul, do you hear me? Okay, Paul, I think say having difficulty to join us. So, but in the meantime, we want to say tonight we have a special guest. It's Mr. Stephen Carley. He's a newly elected chairman of the Alternative National Congress. That's ANC Europe. So he's with us tonight. We'll be having a very, very good discussion about ANC progress and challenges in Europe and also in Liberia. Mr. Carley, welcome.
Thank you very much, Jamal, and it's good having me on. I am much more happier to be on. It's been a minute since I've last been on here on Borderline. And it's good seeing you guys. I'm looking forward to an engaging conversation.
Yeah, but first, I know people who just joining us would like to know who is Mr. Stephen Carley.
So basically, this is Stephen Carley. I come from Maryland County in Liberia. I cut across tribe, social class, district, and political stratum in Maryland County. I'm a proud son of Maryland County. So important to note also is that I'm a former student leader of the William V. Tubman University. At the time, we had a privilege to have represented the Tubman University on the National Executive Committee of the Liberia National Students Union. We have also had the privilege to have been elected twice by the popular votes of the young people from the 4 political districts of Maryland County. And we represented Maryland at the Mana River Union Youth Parliament Liberia chapter, where we rose to become a spokesperson of the Liberian Youth Parliament at the MRU. We have served our people. We have come a long way. Currently, we have the privilege to serve as Secretary General of the Federation for Liberian Associations in Europe. And of course, today we are on this show in the capacity as the chairperson-elect of ANC Europe, a diaspora front of ANC Liberia. So basically, that is a synopsis of what we bring to the table in terms of leadership history.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I know you were elected recently as the ANC Europe Chair, but I think before then, I want to take you down to you've been with ANC for the past years, one of the key figures within Europe, and you've been doing a lot. Tell me before ascending to the position as the chair, and what has been your role in ANC in Europe?
Thank you for such a excellent question, Jamed, that allows me to recount basically, briefly, our contributions we've made to the ANC. So I remember my first interaction with Team Cummins Liberia was prior to the 2017 presidential elections. And that was an interaction with Mr. Cummins at the time, the youth leader at the time, Nathan Pau. And that meeting was arranged by Dr. James Elliott, who resides in the USA. So we then had our acquaintance with Mr. Cummins, and then supported the ANC in 2017. More so, we contested for the chairmanship of the Maryland County chapter of the ANC at the time, but we were unfortunate to have lost the elections to the then chairman, Mr. Wakla Yobo Nive, okay, who was also a representative candidate within the Harper District, Maryland County. So since then, since the 2017 elections, we had traveled over to Europe, where we've been residing and been engaging with the Liberian community. Since our presence in Europe, we've been contributing to the ANC. Before ascending to this position as chairperson-elect, we have served as founding coordinator of the Germany chapter of ANC Europe, the chapter that basically hosted, with the support of ANC Europe, hosted Mr. Cummins prior to the 2023 presidential elections. So while serving as coordinator, we also had the privilege to have served the entire European continent as Secretary General. So that is basically a brief history of our contributions we've made to the ANC in terms of our leadership role we've played.
I want to welcome my colleague Linfor Egongwe from studio in Norway. Linfor, welcome to the Berlin. I know you just come in. We have our special guest word tonight, who is Mr. Kali, the ANC Europe Chair elect. So you can take your first shot if you like. Linfor.
Oh, do you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Okay, great. Well, let me say welcome to Mr. Stephen Carley, or the chairman-elect of the Europe ANC Diaspora Group. We're happy to have you here. It's been a while since you was here the last time. But we want to congratulate you on your elections, and we hope that you're going to perform as expected. Now, fast forward. What we want to know, Steve is out and Jima is also.
I'm following, Mr.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what we want to know, where is the Europe, because this is a new administration, and the old administration has left and the new administration has just come in. So how are you starting? How is the new administration starting with the new setup? Because it's not going to be the same old setup that we had before. No big difference, but it's going to be a little bit new to some extent. So where are we starting from? Did you inherit anything that you started with, or are you starting from scratch?
Well, basically, to answer that question, I think to say we are starting from scratch would be a perfect way to nullify the efforts, the stripes on which we stand. You know, the likes of Jamal on the call, the likes of you, the likes of Lord Chlopley, the likes of many other respectable, you know, die-hard partisans of the ANC and supporters of Ellis Cummins have put in efforts for us to reach this point today. Okay, so basically, we had an ANC Global Europe region, and that was a subset, if you may, or a chapter that was under the defunct ANC Global. It is this region that have transitioned into becoming an autonomous ANC diaspora front. So basically, we are starting from where our predecessors have ended, you know, their efforts, while trying to harness their guardians along the lines of moving forward. to attach some substance to that, I would say our first point of engagement is mobilization. And if you allow me, this will bring me to our plan as it stands. Our first point of engagement is mobilization. We have observed that our membership is low. A lot of the existing chapters are struggling to meet up with the membership threshold that is set in our bylaws. So, and we are cognizant of the fact that in order for us to raise funds, because the primary reason for this super PAC is to raise funding while supporting and fueling the struggle for real change in Liberia through Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. Okay, so we intend to do this by ensuring robust membership recruitment. We believe when a robust membership recruitment is done, that will be a fine recipe or a basis to initiate fundraiser. So our approach to membership recruitment is structural. We are working with our vice chair on chapter development, membership recruitment, and mobilization, who is a great leader from the Liberian community in Norway, Mr. Emmanuel Swa. What Mr. Emmanuel Swa and his team is doing is that they are working with every chapter leadership, engaging the youth leadership, and engaging the women caucus leadership to what we call customize our general membership recruitment strategy. Now, we are developing a membership recruitment strategy, but we want to make sure that that membership recruitment strategy is tailored towards the needs of every chapter, is tailored towards the needs of the youth movement as well as the women movement, because our objective is we want an effective membership recruitment campaign. So the guiding contours in terms of the principles along which we are developing these membership recruitment strategies around the place is clarity, simplicity, and effectiveness. We need an effective strategy. So that is why the approach is even more effective. That is why we are ensuring that these strategies are tailored towards the different constituencies in which they're going to be implemented. And so, yes, because we believe one of the challenges our previous Congress had, or our predecessors had, was centered around the issue of mobilization and membership recruitment. So we decided to start from there as our first point of engagement. And if we're able to meet our target, our short-term target, at least from now to our upcoming inauguration, which we are envisioning to have around March or April of next year, we are hoping that we would have been able to boost our membership up to a celebrated number. But that number I can't say now, because that number will be informed by the facts. I mean, in other words, the target we are setting in terms of membership recruitment that we want to achieve by the time we are doing our inauguration and fundraiser early next year, we want to make sure that that figure is informed by the targets set by the Youth League, the target set by the Women League, the membership recruitment target set by all chapter leadership. I hope that answers your question partly, and that speaks to where do we start
as we draft along. We will always come back to pertinent issues. But let me ask my second question, and then I can pass it over to Mr. Dolly. Liberian people by nature, especially people who support political parties and political leaders, will always want to be on the winning side. And from personal experience, talking to people, potential voters, they will always say, "Oh, we don't want to be the loser, so we'll always go for the winning side." And knowing some of these things at the back of our mind, in the past elections, the ANC performed, or the CPP, ANC performed very dismally according to the results that were given. How that results came out is another question, but for the record sake, that was given. So, how do you go about, especially in Europe, people, the Liberians in Europe are now on the ground to see what's happening. We are outside. So how do you go about, with recruitment to try to convince people that the ANC is going to come back to its original number or strength, and then they can be a force of contest in the elections? Because the people will be looking at the result, they say, well, we can't make it because the ANC number shrink a lot. So we don't know. So we want to stay where we are.
Thank you very much, Linfa, for such a salient question. But maybe I want to start on this comical note, if you may. Maybe Liberia wouldn't have degenerated into what it is today if the Liberian people are listening to Mr. Cummings. One would say, and that's another perspective of the theory. Maybe the legislature wouldn't have degenerated into a boycott, of a banana republic at the expense of upholding the rule of law. If the Liberian people had listened to Cummings and had given the only cockleyes in the town, not to the oldest man in the town, but a man proactive enough to take on the charge of making a farm, that at the end of the year, the people will celebrate their produce. Maybe we wouldn't be at this point today discussing a third-party Toronto deal that does not benefit our people and is as the result of one Nigerian scammer who has caricatured our entire legislature and gullible government, if you may. Maybe we wouldn't be at this point today. So I'd like to answer your question by putting some context to this conversation, Mr. Linford. First thing first, while we are determined to create an ANC presence within all of Europe, we are very key about providing a context as we intend to interpret Mr. Cummings' messages. First of all, to answer your question before digressing further, we are prepared to bring visibility to Mr. Cummings' message using our media and communications team, using our youth league that is very, very innovative. The youth league, matter of fact, have started bringing visibility to Mr. Cummings' messages, beginning with the quotes, the series of quotes he's sharing. So our mobilization and membership recruitment team is equipped enough with the message for real change that Mr. Cummings has been advocating over the years. And it is that message that we are taking to every Liberian residing in every corner of Europe. If I want to be much more specific, as I spoke about context, adding some context to this, Mr. Linford. Now, let's understand this. We will all agree that Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings is perceived as the greatest threat to a system that has been bent on the continuous impoverishment of the masses of our people. Let us be construed that the CDC and the United Party only become friends when it comes to fighting Cummings away from the presidency and showing that he come across as being irrelevant in the eyes and the public glare. So the first thing we want to make Liberians in Europe understand is that the system will do anything to keep Cummings away from the presidency. And the clear evidence of that was glaring prior to 2023 elections, when United Party saw that she could not win a primary in the cities in the CPP, when Mr. Cummings said that he would not accept block voting and that the CPP will go to a transparent process. United Party somersaulted. They lied on Mr. Cummings about fingering some document that he was vindicated from by the court at the end of the day. But guess what? The United Party through the solicitor, the CDC through her solicitor General Serena Sifas orchestrated that plan within the court on behalf of the so the point I'm making, Mr. Linfogwe, is that the system and these people that are perceived as the winning side, the winning team, you understand, these people, even though they are not good for our country, but they will do everything possible. You know, there's a saying that say that the friend of or the enemy of my friend is also my enemy. So Mr. Cummings is that simple common enemy for all political parties in Liberia and all, you know, recycled politicians, if that's the word to use. So I hope that answers your questions.
Okay, so Mr. Chair, let me get who you right there. Consider me as a voter, potential voter, right? And having witnessed all of the things we explained, and then the result that the CPP, ANC, or Mr. Cummings got in the past election, then you coming to me now as a recruiter to convince me to vote. How are you going to convince me?
The first reminder, in addition to first giving you the context, that the system will do everything to keep Cummings away from the presidency. The first reminder I'm providing to you, this is the same Alex Cummings who came to the elections in 2017. And guess what? The first time in the elections, he came tail fourth. Do you remember this? Now, our system is expecting us to believe this is the same Alex Cummings who made 1% after 6 years of improved engagement with the Liberian people. Oh, yes, it was orchestrated for Cummings to end up with 1%. Mr. Gwe, it was an orchestration of the system. This is the context I've been giving you, Mr. Gwe. The system don't want... Okay, Mr. Gwe, let me be much more direct. You see, when you see a Henry Pedro Costa refers to Mr. Cummings as someone who will never become Liberian president, tells you that these recycled politicians, these gullible expendables, are bent on ensuring that Alex Cummings is still remain distant away from the Liberian presidency for one simple reason: because he cannot be used. Because they cannot use him to enrich themselves. Because they want to enrich themselves like others have done already, going impunity or with impunity. So you see, I am going to remind you as a voter that the system will formulate any chicanery possible as they did in 2023 elections with the Appleton or chicanery. Did you know Appleton, Mr. Doyle? No. No one knew Appleton. We knew Appleton when the elections results were announced. Everyone knows it's an open secret in Liberia that the vast majority of our voters are illiterate people who, when they engage the ballot paper, the first thing they do is that they check the first place, the first person they see on the ballot paper. Everybody knew that Ellis Cummings would have come at least second or first place. And to do that is to bring him close to the presidency. So every voter that hit the ballot paper is trying to look for Ellis Cummings on the ballot paper,
Mr. Kelly,
when he should have been on the first place on the ballot paper.
Mr. Kelly, thank you.
So yes, there were orchestrations, and the system has been bent on ensuring that Ellis Cummings come across as being irrelevant, and that was specifically done to make him irrelevant for 2029. And this is why the responsibility before us as ANC Europe and as ANC partisans is so huge.
Mr. Kelly, let me just hold you. Thank you very much. Mr. Dollar, just give me 2 seconds. I just want to confirm. I think it was the question the brother asked is a straight question. Be straightforward with us. How will you sell Mr. Comey? Just one line. That's what he wants. That's all he asked. Forget about the Appleton or Pedro. What did they say? How will you sell Comey to somebody who is not interested in politics anymore? Consider what have happened in the past. Simple. Can you just straight to the point, please? Well, it's because Ellis Cummings introduces the dawn of a new day in Liberia. It's because Ellis Cummings has not been with the bandwagon that have been depleting the covers of our nation. It's because Ellis Cummings earned his stripes as an honest and hardworking man. It's because Ellis Cummings has reached the pinnacle, of corporate America and resigned, came to Liberia to fight for real change in Liberia, a record that no other politician in Liberia have served. I mean, look, we are talking about running a multi-billion-dollar institution successfully. So what we're saying here is that Ellis Cummings is different from all your politicians. What we're saying here is that Ellis Cummings is perceived as the major threat to the system that has been impoverishing our people over the years. And so, yes, if I'm given the opportunity to to talk to a voter or to talk to a Liberian residing in Europe, I'm going to first of all provide them the context, because this context is important. The system, the politicians don't want to see Ellis Cummings. They don't want to see the difference he brings to the table. They don't want to see real change, because with real change, they cannot continuously enrich themselves. Right. Thank you. I want to welcome Mr. Maurice Yankuba Dolly, one of our colleagues who just joined us. Mr. Dolly, welcome.
Thank you very much, Yemand. I'm glad to be here tonight. And I got a few questions for...
Go ahead with your question, please, to our guest.
Yeah, the Honorable Steve M. Curry, the young politician. Mr. Curry, I would like to know here. The past elections, we have managed membership before the past election, both in and out of Liberia, Europe, and America. And after that elections, many people decided to go away from ANC and stand on the fence to watch ANC. What will you do as the head of the European team to convince these people to come back on board? That's my first question. Did you hear me?
Thank you for such a excellent question, Mr. Dolly. The first thing we want to do, Mr. Dolly, is we have constituted a team for membership engagement and recruitment. So as I may have indicated, that team is led by Mr. Emmanuel Sua from Norway. And that team is working with chapter coordinators, the youth league and the women league leaderships to develop a recruitment, membership engagement, and a recruitment strategy. And part of that strategy is to engage partisans who have backslided, is to look for them wherever they are and engage them and make the case. And it is Ellis Cummins' case. It is Ellis Cummins' message for real change in Liberia. We are only messengers. So yes, we are determined to robustly reach out to all well-wishers for real change in Liberia, all possible supporters for real change in Liberia across the European continent. Okay, so to put some substance to this conversation, of course, there are some top-level engagements that will be done. We are aware there are partisans, supporters of Ellis Cummins and the ANC who meticulously supported the ANC in the last elections. Okay, for some reason, they are not fully involved with the ANC at the moment. Okay, we understand what their regrets are, what their issues are, and we will do everything working together with the political leader to ensure that the political leader engage with some of these very relevant donors to our campaign process. So I hope that addresses your question, Mr. Dodd.
I simply ask you one simple question. That is, what would be the strategy you and your team going to employ to convince those that feel disenchanted with ANC and step away? What is your strategy that you will employ to bring them back on board? That's what
so, like I said, we preside over a political institution. We preside over a political institution. What I won't do is to give the details of our mobilization and membership recruitment strategy. But I can say that we are developing a membership recruitment strategy along lines of making sure that it is simple, clear, and effective. Effective in the sense that we want to reach out to some of these very people you're talking about, partisans and supporters who are backslided. So I hope this is sufficient for you. I don't want to disclose what our recruitment strategy is. We have not started implementing a recruitment strategy yet. We're trying to develop it. So I want to even ensure that it is a strategy endorsed, by every spectrum of our party before I can, boldly discuss it here. So it's still ongoing development, and that is the reason why I don't want to give the details for it. But yes, we are developing a recruitment strategy right now.
Thank you very much. All right. My second question is, after going our boss, doing everything possible in your capacities as a head of European chapters and get more congregations, how will you be able to identify them? In what strategy or what means that you will be able to identify them?
Pardon me, identify who?
The members that you will be able to convince to be part of ANC.
Oh, so that's part of the issues that our strategy is addressing. Okay, we do not have
notification. You finish employ your strategy to bring them over, but to keep them in check, to be able to
to maintain membership. Okay, to retain membership.
That's what I'm saying now.
So thank you for such an out of the box question. The membership recruitment strategy we are developing does not only address membership recruitment, but it also addresses membership retention. So without necessarily giving the details of the activities, I'm hoping that I can be able to give you the details of this strategy the next time I make an appearance here. But that time it would have been in a mature stage. But now it's in its embryonic stage. But what we can tell you is that it addresses also membership retention. So, but the bottom line is what we're trying to do is to keep a proactive ANC Europe. An ANC Europe that is not only legally registered with a legal identity, but has an independent bank account. These are conversations that we've already initiated. Conversations surrounding our registration, the bank account creation. So yes, we believe if we have a vibrant institution, it will serve as a basis for motivating Liberians around you. We believe if the few of us that are currently members of ANC Europe plus the ones joining us, if we are able to demonstrate that we can stand for the cause for real change in Liberia with Ellis Cummings come 2029, consistently, proactively around Europe, as will be evident by our fundraising activities all around the place and different political engagements and events we'll be having around Europe, we believe that will also be a base for motivation to energize our base. So yes, the next appearance will discuss membership retention. What are we doing to do? We were just elected basically. So everything we're telling you are basically ongoing.
Okay, my last question is... No, but you asked two questions, by the way.
I said my last question, please.
Oh, you asked two questions.
I asked for three questions. I asked for three.
Oh, you can't ask three questions. You ask your other question, but that other person asked you.
But who is the moderator? Is you the moderator? I ask you, I say, can I have a three question? You say yes.
No, you can ask me two questions. You've asked two questions. You ask the other one again.
Anyway, let's go. Go on.
Yeah, Paul had never asked. Paul never told you. So
yeah,
I'm just giving post
until we finish.
Leave on. Let me go ahead with your questions.
I got three questions to ask. And you accepted me to ask the three questions.
Sadole, go ahead. Linfo has agreed to go ahead with your question. Go on, please.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Kali, my last question is this. What would be your slogan in terms of campaign for Kumi to be the next president of our Republic of Liberia? Like for the past administration, CDC said pro, the Unity Party says rescue. So what would be the ANC UNO slogan that will motivate the Liberian people to say, yeah, I think we need to go and vote for the party?
If I want to start on a comical note, I would suggest that maybe we could be the real rescue mission, because you will agree with me that Liberia is yet to be rescued.
Well, you agree with me? From the people then, because that's the slogan. The people say rescue.
Yes. I'm coming to your question. Your question is
to answer your question. Other people want to ask them. You asking a question.
Yeah, the question is what slogan?
Yeah, the slogan.
Yes. So I mean, I'm coming to answer your question, right? But the point I'm making here is Liberia is yet to be rescued. Our system is yet to be rescued. Our people are yet to be rescued, as evident by increased hardship. So yes, the overriding need to fix Liberia is still overemphasized. Ellis Cummings is still ready to fix Liberia. Liberia is yet to be fixed.
Now you answer the question. Thank you.
The drug situation is yet to be fixed.
Thank you.
The healthcare situation is yet to be fixed. Liberia is yet to embark on agriculture, industrialization, least to measure techno. I mean, industrialization. Like we are held behind to the core. When we was in power, we thought that we had witnessed enough abuse of the rule of law. But when Oman Boaga came to power, what we saw is just unspeakable.
Right. Linford, go on.
No, Paul, you want to go or?
Paul still have some technical issues. Go on.
Okay. Or Steve, when you're answering
good evening, gentlemen.
Oh, okay. You're okay now. Sorry about that, Paul.
Good evening, gentlemen. Also, want to say congratulations to Steve for his election victory, and I can see the energy in him for ANC Europe, and I hope you do a fantastic job, and I trust your ability to lead the group into 2029. So, Steve, I just want to welcome you on the Bottom Line discussion. I've been following the show, although my internet services is playing out here. So, and some of the questions that they asked, I mean, we know that ANC has just finished their convention, both US, Europe, and Liberia. So anything going forward, I think now is they are now putting all their documentation together to run with it to see. And the question part that they asked about local, I don't think it's now what the strategic group will come up with that, how they're going to run with it, what they're going to say. So you cannot preempt what it tends to happen. It could be Liberia first. Let me Liberia great again. So just to add salt and pepper, because Liberia is lacking behind Burkina Faso and other countries. So it could be a good thing that maybe you could take to your strategic room. Let me Liberia great again. Let's use the Donald Trump thing, and Liberia wants a power in West in Africa. Liberia can become that power once more under a good stewardship. So welcome to the Bottom Line discussion. It's good to have you here. So going forward, how is the momentum in Europe, the ANC Europe? What's going on? Talk to us.
Well, Mr. Paul Trupley, Lord Trupley, as we affectionately call you, and distinguished colleagues, let me say, Lord Trupley is, I mean, beyond he just being a panelist on here, Lord Trupley is our chairperson, the chairperson of the board of advisors of ANC Europe. And so we are privileged to have a great man, guiding us along these lines. And so, RC, I mean, just as you've mentioned, we just got elected, and our first action is to start planning our inauguration, at which time we want to be hosting our first fundraiser. So to begin with, we are having conversations surrounding the need to register our institution for a legal identity and to have an independent bank account, which will give credibility to all of our pending fundraisers. We intend to start with membership recruitment, which we believe will create a feasible recipe or business atmosphere for fundraising. So we're working with our team to do that. After that, we intend to work with our National Finance Committee Chairperson, Mr. John Wetaiwe from the Ireland, and the co-chairperson, Mr. Oliver J.K. Cheer from the UK. And these two folks colleagues are going to work with all of our chapter, leadership, along with the leaderships of our youth and women movements, to come up with, different and innovative fundraising strategies, activities, and means. So we also trying to set a target for fundraiser. And we're doing it on a short-term and a long-term basis. So we are envisioning that from now to March, April, at which time we're having our inauguration fundraiser, will constitute our first term, our short term. So we are looking at setting a fundraising target that we must meet at about that time. And the objective here is,
Okay,
at the end of the
so-
day,
So
the objective here at the end of the day,
that's good.
yeah, pardon me.
I just wanted you to add on how is the momentum within the camp? How people have received you as a new chairman of ANC Europe. What's going on? Talk to the public. How's it going?
I think the team is fired up. I think the team RC Europe is fired up. Our base is energized. The newly elected leadership team, constituted by well-respectable men and women from all walks of life and all geographical localities in Europe, are all fired up, energized, and ready to take on the daunting task before us, ensuring that Mr. Cummins becomes the next president of Liberia by 2029. Yes, so part of that, like you have just mentioned, is that we are trying to strengthen existing chapters. So what we are doing is reappointing already existing chapter coordinators, and where feasible, appoint the chapter co-coordinators, while working with those existing chapter coordinators to ensure a full-fledged leadership at the chapter level. So we are also working with inactive chapters to make them proactive. So we are appointing inactive chapters coordinators. Now we are also attempting to develop new chapters. Now, and two areas we are looking at are Hungary and India. And now somebody may say India is not within the bailiwick of Europe. But here's the thing. ANC Europe is a diaspora front of the ANC that is harnessing every possible support of Mr. Cummins from every country. So any country outside of Europe or within Europe where there are supporters of Cummins, that find it feasible to work with ANC Europe, we are prepared to provide them this support. We are prepared to bring them on our tent, the bigger tent we're trying to build in Europe. And so, yes, we are developing two chapters. In Hungary, we have a Liberian plant scientist and a rural development engineer in Makosubu, a son of the southeastern Liberia, who is now appointed as our acting chapter coordinator and is now taking the charge of mobilizing a chapter in Hungary, while harnessing all Liberian students and residents support in Hungary. So we are also reaching out to our brothers in India. That conversation haven't really yield green lights yet. So in our next appearance on the show, we're hoping that we can be able to report on the update you guys on the success of the development going on in India. We are having conversations. We are concluding conversations with some folks who's supposed to be taking over the leadership in Sweden by tomorrow. Okay, so we've got a coordinator in Norway, we've got a coordinator in Germany, we've got leadership in Belgium. We are having conversations to reactivate our chapter in Holland, as well as Switzerland. So yes, the energy, the fire is too much, RC, to answer your question. And our colleagues are in high gear to make a difference. Our colleagues are in high gear to ensure ANC presence in every part of Europe, to ensure that ANC Europe remain relevant powerful and with a strong voice on the National Executive Committee of the ANC in showing that ANC Europe immensely contribute to the campaign for Ellis Cummings presidency in 2029.
Okay, I think Paul.
Okay, Linford, back to you.
Okay, let me. You said two things I want to touch on. One is establishing a bank account for the Europe diaspora ANC. This brings me to the question as to whether you did inherit any finances from the previous administration, or your statement is insinuating that there was no established bank account, because people come into organization and this will be one of your Herculean tasks, that is to account for payment that people will make. This is political party. This is not just ordinary party. And politics requires money. And people want to make contribution. People want to pay their money. They want to know where it's going. So do you care to tell us if you inherited anything from the past administration? That's the first question.
Well, okay. we of course, as I may have indicated previously, we inherited substance from the past administration. We inherited, a structure. We inherited an ANC Europe, global Europe. We inherited the high-end efforts of our brothers, our predecessors. So yes, we inherited some things in substance. Okay, and I hope that addresses the issue of what we inherited. We may not want to disclose, to whether or not we inherited finances, but you can be assured that we inherited, a basis upon which we can commence. And to speak to the issues of the bank account, to speak to the issue of the bank account, well, why we were not intentionally implying that we did not mean a bank account, but those are structural challenges that ANC Europe has been confronted by or confronted with. Okay, so part of that is one of the reasons that led to the quote-unquote, physical detachment of ANC Europe from ANC Global to ensure we have an autonomous institution in Europe, because we have a different legal framework in Europe than what is in the USA. The laws in Europe are different laws in the USA. Okay, so at the time we were ANC Europe Global, a chapter of ANC Global, an institution registered legally and hosted, headquartered in the USA. So in order to have an account here, the legal identity we are presenting is from the USA. Okay, so that brought the complications. Okay, but now we are about to assume a legal identity in Europe. We make it much easier to achieve the issue of bank account. I hope that addresses the issue.
Okay, then let me follow up this way. From my own experience as a former chapter leader for Norway, one of the things that I saw, the disparity that I saw, was that when every chapter were making contribution, I think they were making contribution in the name of their chapter, and their chapter was responsible to use money that they raised in that chapter during the election the way they wanted to. Some chapters say, okay, we'll take maybe Bon County to run campaign, or we'll sponsor social people from social area with their money that they raised. And the ANC Global Europe at that time was not receiving, not to my knowledge, was not receiving the funds that were raised by those various chapters. Okay, because my own chapter, the money that we raised was not presented to the ANC Global Europe. That money was used. We sent it to Liberia through one of our members, and until now we haven't gotten any report. Okay, but I think the money was used for the purpose. But my question is, how are you going to coordinate this? What are you going to do? Is it going to be the same, or are chapters going to be reporting financially to the body, the European body, when you talk about establishing financial account or bank account, so that every chapter will make their own contribution and that money will come there, so that if ANC Europe is spending any money, they are spending it on behalf of all chapters?
That's perfectly correct. So we have set up a financial team, and that financial team is going to work with all chapters to do their fundraisers, including the youth and the women movement. And income generated from these fundraising activities, of course, will be placed in the Europe Joint Independent Account. Okay, let me address the issue you raised. It is a very salient issue, Mr. Limfogoy. And I think without necessarily washing the dirty clothes of my party outside, there are two structural problems from the past. The first problem is that there was not much coordination among the different diaspora fronts or the different diaspora chapters of the ANC. So, for example, if some auxiliary of the ANC in Liberia were having a campaign rally, they reached out to ANC USA asking for support, submitting the budget. Then they reached out to ANC Global at the time then, because there were multiple organizations in the USA. And then they, for example, reached out to ANC Europe. So these things were not coordinated. At about this time, the ANC is doing things differently. At this time, all of the diaspora fronts are coordinating our engagements back home. And by ensuring that the Youth League, the youth movement in Europe, the youth movement in USA, and the youth Congress in Liberia coordinate. By ensuring that the women movement in Liberia, in USA, and in Europe coordinate. So that level of coordination is what we intend to ensure this time, to avoid repetition of that very problem we raised. Now, when it comes to how these monies are spent, the ANC have also recapitulated in a very good way, though. The ANC, at her recent convention, made amendments to her constitution that allows for increased diaspora representation on the National Executive Committee. It means if Europe is current at due payment in Liberia as a chapter, then Europe also stand a chance of having 5 representations on the National Executive Committee of the ANC. That way, which is the newest way in town now in the ANC, Europe can be part of the decision of how that money she pays to the party get to be used. And that will cut across all other diaspora fronts that have representation. So now ANC is doing things differently. I hope that answers your question.
Therefore, you're mute. Lean for.
You're still muted, I guess.
Lean for, you're mute.
Okay, sorry guys, sorry. I let me mute myself because let me just make a quick disclaimer here that this platform, the Bottom Line Liberia, is ANC friendly, but it's not an ANC platform. A lot of people got this misconception. We got ANC supporters here. Myself, I'm an ANC sympathizer and supporter. But this platform is not an ANC platform. So, for instance, you can bring the Unity Party people here and if they want us to host them, like we are hosting Mr. Kali was invited by us. Okay, but if anybody wants to come that we have not, the panelists have not invited, we will make sure that you will pay. So the day Mr. Kali wants to come here and we have not invited him, even though he's from the ANC, they have to pay. So let it be clear, this platform is open to everybody. Even your one bring Joe you can bring in. Anybody you want to bring a CDC, you'll bring them. As long as they can pay. We will not tell you how the payment will be done. Our business department will deal with that, but it's open. I just want to make that clear. And a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, the Bottom Line Liberia is an ANC platform." No, the lie. It could be all ANC supporters here, but we are not ANC platform. And let me make that clear and let the ANC themselves know that this is not an ANC platform. So when you come here, don't think you're coming to your platform. You are coming to the Bottom Line Liberia discussion. Am I clear, my panelists?
Yes. You want me to take a question? I wanted to pass a question to Stephen. Thank you very much for a very unique explanation. I just got one straight point for you right now. I think if my memory serves me, you serve now as the current Secretary General of EFLA, that is European Federation of Liberia Association. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. And now you serve as ANC Europe Chairperson. I know EFLA Constitution does not say anything about serving a political party and serving in the leadership hierarchy. But just tell me in terms of conflict of interest, in terms of your position, you are running 2 elected positions in Europe. Do you care to explain how do you get out of this?
Well, I think if there is, then there is a very low degree of conflict of interest. I'm also cognizant of that, but I think there's a very low degree of conflict of interest because when you look at the EFLA Constitution, the duties of the Secretary General is infinitesimal. Okay, the Secretary General basically is just the chief scribe. Like, you do documentations and records. Okay, you take instructions from the president. So the Secretary General cannot, in the worst case scenario, want me say, take the institution in a political direction. Okay, but if I want to be very honest with you, I didn't see this coming. When I was elected Secretary General of EFLA, I didn't see it coming that I will someday become, chairperson of ANC Europe.
Will you resign then?
Conflict of interest. Are you willing
There's
to
a conflict of asking. Okay, probably you don't understand. Let me make it clear. For instance, Linfo, let me follow up.
Yeah.
Let's agree that ANC is coming over for issues, and EFLA as institution in Europe is going to make a press statement and against ANC. Because EFLA comes with a press statement. In the past, they always do on issues, on national issues, and on national interest. They have done something. Just could be want to write something. ANC has come up with issues, and they want to make their own statement against ANC or rebuke ANC's statement. What will be your stand? That's my point here. And you're serving as a Secretary General at the time, and you're also chairman of ANC Europe.
Well, I mean, of course, I don't see, what is the situation that is going to bring EFLA, to rebuke ANC.
Sorry, let me show some history here. Paul can serve me right. Correct me here. EFLA has written a lot of press releases, issued a lot of press releases against political institutions, Liberian government, in the interest of Liberia, in Liberia, also in Europe. So that situation maker, consider it will come. I just want you to deal with the situation.
Yes, but listen, if I want to be blunt, and thank you very much for raising this issue. If I want to be blunt, I would say that resignation is within my purview. It's being contemplated.
For one end, for ANC
and of course, any day I would choose, taking the side for the struggle for real change in Liberia. Any day I would choose the ANC chairmanship over the Secretary Generalship of IFLA. And the reason is simple. The reason is simple. I'm convicted to fight for real change in Liberia. I feel that the name for real change in Liberia has not become urgent as it is now, and it's overriding. So I'm much more passionately fighting with Alexander Cummings for real change by 2029. But on the issue of conflict of interest, well, I know for sure IFLA as an institution, there are points where IFLA take solid position, whether with government, stand with government, against government, or some issues of national concern. So I'm definitely aware about that. Given my own leadership style, given my leadership style is the reason why I say I don't see much issue bordering conflict of interest. Here's why. I give you one instance. Recently, I was in Paris. I live in Paris, of course. I'm speaking from Paris, but I was basically at the event engaging with the president of Liberia. Okay, and basically I was at that event in my capacity as Secretary General of IFLA, because I went to that event to ask the president to consider making Europe the next venue for the upcoming, Liberian Diaspora Conference for next year. Additionally, I went over there to advocate to ensure that the rescue mission rescues Tottenham University from the mess ongoing, my alma mater. So I actually made a representation as Secretary General, that was me representing the Liberian community. If I have won the court of ANC chairpersonship, it would have been another drama, because I would have accused government of all of the corruption going on, all of the messes going on in our country. So yes, but in a nutshell, resignation is within sight, Mr. Kamara.
Thank you.
Padre, you've been silent. Go.
But you say you want to ask 3 questions, so he's going to ask 3 questions. So you want to give him more just to...
That was my first 3 questions I decided.
So how many are you going to ask now?
I want to ask, okay, right now I want to ask 2.
Okay. Mr. Don, let me ask 1 so you can ask 2 more, please. Mr. Kale, thank you very much. I know you don't have much time with us. We want to appreciate you for coming. If you just joined us, this is the Bottom Line Liberia. Mr. Stephen Kale is the newly elected chair of Europe, ANC Alternative National Congress. Europe is the head. He elected president-elect. So he's with us tonight. We are discussing some issues, challenges, and within ANC. So Mr. Kale, I just want to ask a quick, straight question with regard to what do you see the need of voting right? Do you see Liberian diaspora being represented at the legislature, or do you expect that you also will fight for voting right of Liberian living abroad? If why not?
Yeah, 100%, Jamal. There's a sense in which the direction of our country, the prosperity of our country, is expected to be depicted by Liberians in the diaspora. It's just unfortunate over the years, there's been few gullible Liberians in the diaspora that have joined corrupt government in Liberia and corrupted as well the resources of our people. But yes, sorry, I have an interruption. Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Kamara, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, let me make it clear, this thing clear to you. I want you to be straight to the point, if you mind. Yeah. I just think like Liberia in the diaspora have voting right, because I know EFLA has been taking this lead. A couple of months back, they've been fighting to see if Liberians within Europe, I mean, in the diaspora, should have a voting right. On top of that, or representation in the House of Legislature. Yeah. Yeah, this is what. Do you support this idea? If so, what effort EFLA is doing so far, and you will do as in the position as Secretary General, as well as your position as ANC Chair in Europe?
Well, in my position as Secretary General, we providing support to EFLA's representative on that particular ACOR, the committee that is taking the charge on ensuring that this bill is passed in Liberia that give Liberians in the diaspora the right to vote. So from EFLA, we are supporting our representative, Mr. Kingston Wule, who resides in Belgium. From the perspective of ANC, yes, Mr. Kamara, we support the idea that Liberians in the diaspora must share into, the decision making for our country as to who becomes, the leader of our country. So we support that. We would love for Liberians to have, the right to vote. At least that, if we are allowed to have a representative, as a constituent, then fine. But at least I support that Liberians in the diaspora get to vote in 2029 as the result of a law that must be passed by the government. So yes, I support it. It is very, very important. And if you want me to give you reasons, I can come up to say some of the reasons why.
It's fine for me. I'll just give the all of my colleagues to round to ask the questions. Thank you very much.
All right. Honorable Steve Khaled Jr., congratulations again. I'm so glad to see you in power. I would like to know this thing from you as a newly elected leader of Europe, of ANC. What is your time frame of the engagement of your various chapters on a country basis? That's my first question.
Pardon me if I get the question right. Did you say what's the time frame for engaging?
Of your engagement with your various chapter coordinator from a various country, like England, Belgium, Germany, Norway, here and there, and rest of it?
So yes, the leadership, right now what we are doing is we are concluding the appointments of all chapter coordinators first, all chapter leadership. So that exercise will be coming to an end hopefully by tomorrow. And all appointment letters will be out in totality. Now, after that, we're going to engage with the very leadership to have meetings with them as to how we get the ball rolling. As it stands, our membership, recruitment, mobilization, and chapter development team headed by Mr. Sua from Norway is now developing a membership recruitment strategy. Okay, so that will depend on when we go to leadership meeting to endorse that strategy. Then I can say at SYZ time, our membership recruitment team will be meeting with every chapter leadership. But at least from the perspective of central leadership, from the perspective of our office, we are set to start engaging our chapter coordinators in the next 2 days, because by tomorrow, we will have concluded the appointments of all chapter leaderships.
Thank you. I think the second questions I will not ask that anymore.
Linfo? Linfo, you're mute. Linfo, you're mute.
Yes, every time I forget, I mute myself.
Yes, all right, go on. It's fine.
You you mentioned that all appointments of chapter leaders will be concluded pretty soon this week. The time lasted by is tomorrow, and somebody somewhere will wonder what tomorrow is anyway. But the question is, it seems you have appointed chairman for recruitment, mobilization, and chapter development, but then you have the same individual also leading a chapter, being a chapter head. Don't you see this conflict of interest? Because this person this chairman that you've appointed is supposed to recruit from all over Europe, but at the same time, that person is also a chairman for another local branch where he himself lives. So don't you see this as duplication?
We basically have this situation not just unique to Norway. Okay, so thank you for asking this question. But you see, we are at the point where we value, the very few amount of brothers, including your very self, who, are prepared to give their time to this effort. Okay, so, just as if, for example, even though you accepted to be our vice chair on media communications and momentum building propaganda, if you may, but you are the chief host and moderator of this show in a sense of multitasking. So yes, there are few of our colleagues who have accepted to multitask based on the fact that we are in terms of numbers, a young chapter. Okay, so along those lines, we are ensuring that, for example, if I want to use the example you provided, the vice chair on mobilization chapter development and recruitment is working with a team. So he's not the only person who's basically presiding over mobilization chapter development and recruitment. He's basically working with a team. Okay, and as the acting coordinator for his chapter, he is also working with a team of leadership there, and he has a mandate to be able to ensure there's a functional chapter there. And so, yes, there's a young organization trying to stand on our feet, solidify ourselves, ensure that we are standing strong. So, yes, there are few persons who have accepted to multitask, but as time goes by, as our membership grow, of course, we will relieve them of the daunting responsibility or volume of responsibility. We will be able to share the responsibility. So that's where we are. And I just hope this answers, and addresses your concern. But we are really looking forward to you, as you've promised, to assist, our acting coordinator in Norway to ensure that we have a functional, proactive, and a strong chapter from Norway, because some of our biggest supporters in Europe, some of our most influential and relevant people are from Norway, beginning with you, Mr. Boy.
Okay. Since Europe is a chapter by itself, or a chapter by itself, how is but some of these questions are too early to ask. How do you intend to plan or to coordinate with Liberia, where the base is? Because it seems as though, from my experience in the past, it seems as though all of the activities, the global will do its part. The global will do the heavy lifting when it comes to finances, but the final decisions come from Liberia, where the people are on the ground. They are the ones physically present there. We all are praying to God, but the angels are in heaven. Anyone can see God every day. So they can take a message from her and say, Liberian people they're not praying. Why are we praying in hell? They say, no, people they're not praying. So the question is, how do you plan to actually totally coordinate with the people on the ground that Euro's presence will be felt in everything possible?
Well, the people on the ground are not running essential. So the entire ANC is one set. The National Executive Committee back home unites, is the point of convergence of the entire ANC. So if you are a proactive functional, ANC chapter, diaspora front, that is current at due payment, obviously you've got 5 persons seated on the National Executive Committee, and you are part of the entire Rickman role as to leading the party, which direction the party goes. You are part of decision making and all of that. So as chairperson, we are in touch with the National Executive Committee on a daily basis. We are in touch with the Secretary General of the party. We are in touch with the chairperson of the party specifically. Okay, as well as being in touch with political leaders. Okay, so yes, we are doing everything possible to coordinate, differently this time, to ensure that the political leader and the party chairperson, their presence is felt in Europe. Okay, so also we are ensuring that our folks in Europe presence are felt in Liberia. So we in Europe, we are in and out of Liberia as well. Matter of fact, next month, our co-chair in Europe is making an official visit to Liberia. And she's going to be there representing Alice Cummins and ANC Europe. Our vice chair on strategic support as a speaker is in Liberia, making engagements. And of course, he's there representing ANC Europe as well, while making personal engagement, obviously. And so, yes, we intend to coordinate with the party from back home. And I think the party intend to coordinate with us more deeply. And that is why they ensure the amendment that was recently made in the Constitution that allows for 5 diaspora representation from every diaspora front or chapter. So we are looking forward to coordinating differently at this time. And I hope that answers your question. And I'm looking forward to discussing the bread and butter issues that affect the Liberian people the next time I'm on here.
Right. Thank you. Linford, let me ask our honorable guest. Mr. Kali, you are not a stranger at ANC. You're very versed with what ANC policies are. And with the situation we all know, Liberian history, political history, Liberia has a fragmented opposition landscape right now. And ANC, when they had a collaboration called CPP, you know the history. And Mr. Comey was bitterly beaten, and you know the history. But we can't go without building a political strategic alliance as a party. If you are given a task to speak to Mr. Cummins and ANC hierarchy on building strategic alliances on the other political opposition party, how will you go about this?
I was to work with every Liberian alive that is prepared to work with him. But I know very well that Mr. Cummins is determined to build a bigger tent. So, yes, I would tell and advise the ANC to collaborate. There is this general, implication that, of course, no single party can easily win, the ruling party in Liberia. One will agree. Okay, so I think ANC should collaborate. But this time, the general principles guiding our collaboration must differ from the previous one. The previous collaboration we went to was an open collaboration where we said, we are prepared, Mr. Commissaire, I'm prepared to compete with anyone who wants to become Liberian president within this CPP, within the opposition bloc. But none of his counterparts were prepared to compete.
Mr. Kali, I'm sorry to interrupting you. I was just asking you to just outline a few points if you were given the opportunity to speak to the ANC hierarchy on building a strategic political alliance with other oppositions. What will be your way forward, or what will you tell them? 3 points. I wanted to this one, that one. That's what I want you to tell me.
Yes, but like I said, ANC should collaborate, but not along the lines that they previously collaborated. At this time, we have to collaborate.
How will it be?
With
Sure, the difference.
With different principles and values. At this time,
for example,
anyone coming into the ANC must be ready and prepared to support Cummings for the presidency. Nobody in Cummings coming or going a primary. If that is the reason why you're coming, you may as well stay out there.
Giving your position from the past elections, so like my colleague just said, Linford just said that whether we believe or not, with CPP under Mr. Cummings did not win 1%. And with that record, people still feel that, well, what power do they have? They don't have that in the political landscape in Liberia to command vote and win the minds and hearts of Liberians or the voters. So how will he negotiate when he doesn't have that? He's not one of those heavyweight on the ground, given the past records of the past.
So you see the statement. He's not one of the heavyweights on the ground.
Yeah, I'm not being Liberia. This is the thing. Look, coming now. This has been. I think Linford said this. This has been the way that there are other political parties, but looking at the past records, like the last 2020 elections, what we came out with, 1%, ANC came out 1%. With that in mind, people think like it's not a heavyweight to negotiate with for now. We want to see how far it's going. We'll be looking at Unity Party, they'll be looking at CDC and other like CMC that are coming up right now. But then, while I'm asking you, if you are asking Mr. Cummings to say, okay, we come into ANC, you must live by our principles, or else we are out. Is that a way you want to put forward to Mr. Cummings in the hierarchy?
No.
That's my question I'm asking. Okay.
No. You see, if you look at other countries around the world that are experiencing rapid development, if you notice closely, you get to know that the presidents of this country changed the tone of leadership, changed the pace and the trajectory in which the country goes. I'm suggesting to us, the presidents of this country that are rapidly changing their country, they are using the very corrupt government officials they met in the system. So Cummings is now going to act as president before he becomes president. Okay, so I'm saying Cummings must collaborate, but he must collaborate along the lines of ensuring that he must be the dream bearer of that collaborating arrangement. Now, the biggest political 419, Mr. Kamara, in our recent Liberian history is the 419 that make Liberian people, and I'm addressing this to address the premise you just presented. To assume that Cummings is a 1% man who is irrelevant in Liberian politics, that was the objective of the 2023 political chicanery that the United Party and the CDC united on in terms of fighting Mr. Cummings. So what am I saying in essence is that Cummings's influence in Liberia, even as of today, does not reflect that 2023 elections results. Otherwise, Cummings, after the elections, Cummings only made one recent appearance on Spoon TV. And you got the Ministry of Mine Parkos already descending on his parents.
All right. Thank you very much.
So what I'm just to conclude this point, please, just to conclude this point quickly. So what I'm suggesting is that Mr. Cummings, Alexander Benedict Cummings, is influential in Liberia, is relevant in Liberia. 2017, he came there in Liberia, and we are not stupid to believe that he was the one who came up with 1%. No, it was an orchestration by the system. So Mr. Cummings, on the contrary, has traction, and he's relevant and influential in Liberia. I wouldn't want to use the NEC, figures as the premise for my conversation if I'm discussing Mr. Cummins's influence in Liberia. I would rather use the attention that he attracts.
Steve,
the attention that he attracts when he say a single line.
Steve.
Yes, Steve, everything he's saying is
my colleague just want to follow. Go on. Go on, please.
Everything he's saying is just your opinion. What the essence of the question that Jemima is asking. So let me just follow it up. So are you suggesting, or will you support or coalition with the ANC, or the ANC with any party, or coalition with several parties, something that will have to do with like power sharing, that there should be a balance of power within the coalition, instead of ANC just say, okay,
I support that. And no matter how balanced that power will be, no matter to what extent they can distribute that power, Cummings must become the next president of Liberia, because I believe if he becomes president of Liberia, he will change the status quo using what he has brought to the table.
Okay, yeah, a quick follow-up, very quick follow-up. You see, we got to face the reality. We got the voters, the kind of voters that we have in that country. They don't read between the lines. They just follow. They do not think for themselves. So they will say, oh, but Mr. Cummings only got 1%. So let's be very, very hypothetical. That CDC say, okay, you know what happened? George Weah just changed his mind and say, you know what happened? I've been president. So I'm going to support Mr. Cummings. I'm going to join Mr. Cummings. But CDC has a number, and nobody can doubt that. Because the level-headed followers will follow wherever George Weah go. So if they come and then George Weah say, okay, Mr. Cummings, we are coming, we want to move for necessity, say we want to remove the UP. Okay, so we are coming, but let me be the stand-up bearer. Where do you stand? Because George is coming with a number. That one undoubtedly, we are coming with a number.
Look, Mr. Guer.
Yeah.
Mr. Guer. Mr. Weah and his team of seditions had an opportunity for 6 years to change the trajectory of this country and ensure that this country is on the path to prosperity.
But the question is, this can they packing all the Satuga and coming to the ANC? They're packing everybody and bringing them to the ANC, but they are demanding something. Where will you stand?
No, but that's what I'm addressing. How can they be demanding something that they were given 6 years ago they didn't make use of?
Yeah, brother, the people getting no more. That is no more they're bringing.
So this is what I'm saying. Those very people were part of the political chicanery that were orchestrated to make Mr. Cummings come up as 1%. As 1%. But I'm suggesting to your conscience that 1%.
Gentlemen, I think you guys fair on the guests here, because Steve does not have the mandate to get into coordination with any party.
We just ask him if you are
here. Paul, this question should
no, but my point here is Paul.
We understand. Paul, sorry, Paul. What we did here, we asked him if you're given the opportunity to advise Mr. Cummings a hierarchy of ANC. We did not say he making decision for ANC. If you are given the opportunity to advise the political leader and the hierarchy of ANC, what would be his stand? That's the question we asked.
So you see, we with no intention to accuse anyone of being hypocritical. We look, we agree that this system has been bent on ensuring the continuous impoverishment of our people. We agree that this system is a corruption cartel. We agree that this very system, which is predominated by seditions and Unity Party, if it is not this 6 years, the next 6 years, this system doesn't want to see Ellis Cummings. But when we come to say it is the same system that have united to ensure that Ellis Cummings comes across as being irrelevant with this 1% thing, then we don't want to agree on that one. But let me say this, that the premise you guys are basing your question on, which is this 1% thing, it is unrealistic. Now, you may have data from some elections commission database to bring here to the table tonight. But the truth is, you will also agree with me that 1% does not reflect the Cummings rallies that we witnessed prior to 2023 elections. 1% does not reflect Cummings' influence in Liberia, for which today, if he were to go to the radio and say one thing, the entire government will be running with it. Of course, they know he's very relevant, influential in Liberia, and that 1% is a wrongful representation of Cummings' strength in Liberia. It is evident. It was evident earlier in 2017.
Let me give you a short parable to lay this whole thing to rest. My grandmother used to say, we get blood in our stomach, but we can still eat red oil. Okay? So we all know what you're talking about. But the question we're asking is also, like, for instance, if Mr. Cummings was listening tonight, for him to also draw some cues from it. The question here is, in politics, there's no permanent enemy. Tomorrow, if ANC is running and Bouaka performs so dismally, and he see that the strongest opposition that he got will be WIA, but he doesn't want WIA to come, Bouaka can say, no, you people will all go support Cummings. You saw the 2023 election. After the ANC, the CPP fell off. Members of the CPP, when they start supporting, and we have some of them supported UP. So there are no permanent enemies in politics. But at that time, when something happened, it happened. So the question here is, and I'll still bring you back to the question, if, and although it can be CPP, it can be CDC, if any of them comes to support the ANC in the coming elections, what will you advise? Will you advise that ANC just say, no, you're not coming here with any demand, you're just going to support us?
The first thing is that the basis for joining ANC, you must have shared in with the ANC vision. The ANC vision, Ellis Cummings' vision for the dawn of a new day in Liberia must have resonated with you prior to coming to the ANC.
Yeah,
so. And I will say this, Linfo. Like you said, you also just implied that politics is dynamic. There is no constant formula to the presidency. That whole formula of becoming a vice president, stepping to be vice president before you accept it. There's no one pathway to the presidency. There are multiple unaccountable pathways to the presidency. And I say this to you, Mr. Linfo, I'll further say this to you in emphasis, that you see Abraham Darius DeLong, your light, prior to his ascendancy to the legislature, he said he was going to change everything at the legislature. When he entered there, what did he say? He said he alone cannot change it. Just as every other person that have gone to the legislature have said. So making Cummings vice president or senator or what? To go in the legislature where he alone cannot change nothing?
Right. Thank you very much, guys. I think we've gone so far with the guests. I want to first say thank you very much for coming, Mr. Stephen Khaled Jr., for coming up. Gentlemen, we've gone.
Now.
Sorry?
I think, can we leave here now?
We want to first say thank you very much for coming to for our call and being the newly elected leader of ANC Europe. I want to wish you well. But before we let you go, we would like to, if my colleagues have one or two questions or comment, then we'll give you a parting comments. I will go to Mr. Dollar. What do you have to tell us before we give our guests the chance to make his parting comment?
Well, my personal statement in connection with the young men who just take leadership, I believe that he have the potential of rebranding the ANC's memberships in Europe, because from the short period of time that I've been interacting with him, I realized that he's a young man who is willing to listen and to learn. So with that throne in leadership, you can able to achieve your goal. So my son, I want you to be well attentive. Do not underestimate any comment people make. Do not overlook any enemies towards you, and make sure you work the best possible way you can as a political leader. You are a political leader for Europe, for ANC, and I believe that with the current leadership style you have, you will be able to achieve the best goals. So the only advice I want you to please do for us tonight, is do not hesitate to engage your Europe chapters coordinations and make sure that put this thing and formula in place as soon as possible. Then we'll go from there. God bless you. God bless ANC. And the ANC is the next coming government. That's what I can say.
So. And that coming from you, Conan Dolly, we want to be very grateful. Thank you, big brother. We're looking forward to folks like you to guide us along the line. We'll definitely be reaching out very soon to chapter leadership, and that will include you, because as far as we know, you are the ever-potent coordinator of the UK chapter. So far, our strongest, most respectable, and if you may, chapter. So we will definitely reach out to the UK chapter, as we plan to reach out to all other chapters in due course. Thank you very much, Conan Dolly, and we are happy having you as one of our advisors.
Thank you.
Paul, anybody can ask a question, the last question, or make a comment. Then we give our guest a chance to make his parting comment.
That's Saint Paul having some ups and downs, and he on not letting him go.
Paul is not. Paul just a technician right now. You need to go, and I think you have some work to do with his laptop, I think.
Paul, are you okay to make a new laptop? He's a chairman of the board of the country.
Paul can make it. Linford, go on.
So, Steve, we want to say thank you very much, and again, congratulations. We all will work together, and we make sure that 2029 be a different story, a success story, and we just got to roll up our sleeves, and it's a very hard task. And we in Europe, we've always said, the guys in America are dominating, everything is between America and Liberia, but this time now, everybody's standing on their own feet. So let's see what Europe will do through the new leadership. I will reserve all comments, all questions for now, and hope that the next time we call you. But if you want to appear, then you have to settle with our commercial office. Yeah, we can reach to you if we want information, because that's our duty to collect the information and disseminate it. If we feel the need, we will reach to you. But in the sense that you want to reach out to us, do it anytime. But just be prepared. Knock your pocket and come. And so we want you to take our warm greetings to the political leader from the Bottom Line Liberia. Take our greeting to him and all members of the party. We are just ANC friendly. We are not ANC station. Let that go down so that people will know as of tonight. So thank you very much for coming, and I reserve all other questions until the next time we meet. Thank you so much.
Mr. Kali, we give you at least 2-3 minutes to give your parting comments. We want to first tell you thank you for accepting our invitation. We, being our special guest tonight, you done your best to answer most of the questions that we ask. I know we found it very friendly. We are not intend to put you in a hot seat, but we're trying to get some information out of you that the audience would like to hear about ANC. But I think you've done your best so far. So thank you for coming, and we'd like to hear from you.
Man, if you guys had placed me in the hot seat, I don't know what I would have done here. I'm not yet in the hot seat already. I'm hot. But well, it's been a very fruitful and amazing engagement with the Borderland show. I mean, you guys are all sophisticated, well-informed, you know, panelists and patriotic Liberians who want the best for our country, you know. And Mr. Jamal, I really appreciate, you know, your eloquence, you know, inspires me. You know, it's always a pleasure interacting with you and all of the folks on here. Our media czar, Afro Viking, you know, Argon Limfogwe. It's always a pleasure, you know, working with you. And, you know, you being our media czar for ANC Europe. And, you know, from Conan Dolly, you know, to our boat chair. So again, it's a pleasure being on here. A few points I might want to emphasize on that I may not have touched. It's about our membership recruitment, which is very key. First point of engagement. Matter of fact, we also looking at the development. We are currently developing our membership form, and it will be out there soon. We are working with our chapter development team, a membership team, to come up with a membership ID card that could be valid for a year or two once earned. So basically, those are some of the things we'll be doing about membership and membership recruitment. Now, talking about media engagement, and we've got our youth league. Our youth league has a lot of, it's presided over by a very great and innovative brother called Chris Woody. And Chris has a background in civil society and a background, of course, in technology. So Chris is helping us to do a lot of things as it relates to affiliate marketing, bringing visibility to Mr. Cummins' mentions. You know, and they're assisted by our Secretary General, who provides support to all of the folks around the place. Okay, so one thing will be key about is the establishment of our Facebook page. The Facebook page will be established soon and will be out there. We hope we get it connected to Bottom Line Facebook page as well. Okay, we are looking to doing enough of online campaign bringing Mr. Cummins' messages for Real Change in Liberia to Facebook, through TikTok, and all other possible social media platforms. But distinguished colleagues, like I may have indicated, it's been a pleasure being with you people. We are patriotic Liberians. We are young cadres. You know, we are conscious militants and partisans of the ANC. We are supporters, friends, and well-wishers of Ellis Cummins. We are angered by the continuous impoverishment of the masses of our people. We are moved by the fact that our country is still not on the path of prosperity. Look, comrades, we are energized by the continual hardship of our people. And this is why we have mustered the courage. And we are decided to stand up and ensure that we stand with Mr. Cummings against the status quo, that we ensure an ANC presence in every part of Europe, while ensuring that we help to support and fuel the ANC revolution and movement for real change in Liberia. We are very determined about this. We are very meticulous about it, and we must achieve this. We are looking forward to making another appearance here, hopefully before our pending inauguration and fundraising event. It's been a pleasure being with the Bottom Line Show, and all of you panelists, amazing panelists. Thank you very much for having us, and God bless you.
On behalf of the Bottom Line Liberia, my name is Jamal Kamara. I want to say thank you for wherever you join us from. I want to say thank you to Steve Kali Jr., ANC Europe Chair, newly elected. And I know we didn't have the opportunity to say a big thank you to those who joined from Liberia, from the Jala TV, Europe, Africa, Asia as well, and the United States of America. I want to say a big thank you to my colleagues, Linford Agoe, Linford Agongue, the Afro King, Mr. Yankuba J. Dole, Maurice Yankuba Dole, and Paul Delor who served tonight as our technician. My name is Jamal Kamara. I want to say a big thank you to you. Don't forget, we'll be here on Friday, same time, same platform. We'll be discussing Liberia. And I want to leave you with a beautiful Liberian song from King Cairo. Good night. Have a pleasant evening.
You say what?
I got you. Brave, I won't go and get copy. Panave, if you in a play, don't turn it. Claude, my people know in Claude. In Pinze, but you not here, but Ray. All up pro get dry face. Google Timo with a guinea, Baby Mo Jackale. Slow way, some people go on slow way. Why some people waiting for the V to show face? Let country wait for you in rush. If you big so you got tell them I sing. I'm talking with the people asking. Damo in the devil, I shiny, jala rasi. If you no value with no pricing, yeah. They can see you till you go, and my people and teens.
This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube.